Her boyfriend's phone wallpaper had been switched to a selfie of him and new. In the photo, the girl smiled sweetly, cuddling against his side, flashing a peace sign at the lens. When I confronted him, Chase answered with cool composure, "It's just a forfeit for losing a game. What's a wallpaper supposed to mean anyway?" But weeks passed and Chase never changed it back. He said, "Too lazy to bother, it's only a wallpaper." Later, Chase saw me acting intimately with another man. He stormed over, seething. I replied, unruffled, "Oh, I'm just more diligent than you. Switching boyfriends, that's all." Before we continue, please subscribe to this channel and tell us in the comments where you're listening from. After my business trip, I carried gifts straight to my boyfriend's office. He was in a meeting, and the freshly hired new barred me outside. She wore an ill-fitting suit, her young face stiff with self-importance. "President Sterling is in conference, wait in the guest lounge." Before I'd even stepped away, she dialed reception and scolded loudly. "Who told you to let strangers up? Don't you realize how critical Mr. Sterling's meeting is?" The desk phone was on speaker. The receptionist's answer rang clear. "Ms. Vance is Mr. Sterling's girlfriend, we're not allowed to stop her." New refused to back down. "So what if she's his girlfriend? She doesn't work here, she has no right to roam freely. Next time call me for clearance first. Let another random person in and you're both gone next month." Quite the power display. Chase had mentioned New 2 months earlier. She was a distant cousin on his mother's side, an 8th-degree relation. They'd begged his mother, who slipped her into Chase's firm. Fresh out of college, green and clueless, she threw her weight around, offending half the staff. Chase said it was equal parts irritating and hilarious. He'd never liked rash little girls, even in school. But to save his mother's face, he kept her on for now. Soon his assistant would invent a reason to let her go. I paused, turned, and gave New a leisurely once-over. She lifted her chin, eyes glinting challenge. Ambition and hunger, naked and unabashed. There had always been girls like her circling Chase. I never worried, he handled them himself. No need for me to quarrel with a child. I ignored the guest lounge and walked straight into Chase's private retreat. A month on the road had drained me. I dropped onto the sofa and dozed off. When I woke, Chase was sitting beside me, head propped on one hand. He watched me with a faint smile. As my eyes opened, he reached to ruffle my hair. "Falling asleep wherever you go, silly girl." The instant the last 3 words left his lips, we both froze. I'm not the coquettish type. He's never used cutesy nicknames on me. "So? Cheating on me? Found a girl you like to call silly girl?" I kept it light, joking. In my heart, I didn't believe Chase would stray. We met in high school, dated through college, over a decade together. My family couldn't match his, so I outworked everyone. In high school, I rarely slept before 1 a.m., I napped during breaks. After college, I pulled endless overtime, sometimes dozing off in movie theaters on dates. Whenever that happened, Chase would be heartbroken. He asked what he'd done wrong to leave me so insecure. He could give me every comfort. Why did I keep driving myself? My insecurity never came from Chase. It came from the years when my stepmother's moods decided whether my allowance or tuition arrived. It came from the day Dad calmly told me to move out after graduation. My little brother needed his own room. Those memories taught me never to lean on anyone financially. Emotionally, though, I did lean on, trust, and cherish Chase. Chase withdrew his hand and gave a soft laugh. "Now you feel the threat? Afraid I'll cheat?" Arms folded, he looked utterly relaxed. "Good, maybe next you won't put work above me." Throughout our relationship, Chase had complained more than once. He said he always put me first, followed my college choice, then started a business in a city far from home just to stay with me. Yet I kept relegating him behind grades and promotions. Even his proposal kept getting postponed. Wait for the full-time offer, the promotion. I've never been good at expressing feelings or sweet talk, but I saw and remembered every kind thing Chase did. Now my career is stable, I own a car and savings. The old anxieties are finally quiet. On the trip, I'd passed a jeweler and bought matching bands. Who says proposals must come from the man? I clutched the velvet box in my palm, rehearsing words, heart thumping. "Chase." Just as I spoke, Chase's WhatsApp ringtone chimed. The screen lit, and my heart plummeted. His wallpaper, once my photo, had become that selfie of him and New. Chase, actually cheating? I took the phone and unlocked it. Same photo. The girl beaming sweetly, tucked against him, flashing a peace sign. Care to explain? I fought to keep my voice steady, pointing at the screen. Chase looked unruffled, not a flicker of panic. "Looks like the wallpaper swap paid off. Got you jealous. Relax, only a penalty for losing a game." He elaborated. 2 days earlier had been Mackenzie's birthday. His mother called especially, saying the girl was alone in a strange city, telling Chase to take her out. A few of her girlfriends joined dinner. They insisted on truth or dare. Chase lost and picked dare. Keep the selfie as wallpaper for a week. He shook his head, laughing wryly. Kids these days, loud and stubborn. They even do daily spot checks to make sure I don't swap back early. He didn't notice the fond grin that crept across his face or the tenderness in his voice when he spoke of Mackenzie, only that something in me had cooled. If it bothers you, I'll change it right now. I shook my head without thinking. Chase exhaled. I knew you'd understand. It's just a wallpaper, means nothing. I forced a stiff smile and slipped the ring box back into my bag. I figured he must have forgotten. Back in junior year, a pretty girl in his major chased him with the stubbornness of a heat-seeking missile. Even after he flat out told her he had a girlfriend, she refused to quit. She enrolled in the same electives, followed him into campus clubs. At the dining hall, she always picked the table 2 seats away. Eventually, Chase filed a restraining order. Humiliated, she took a medical leave and didn't set foot on campus again for almost a year. I remember scolding him for being heartless. He tilted his head, eyes soft and unwavering on mine. I could have looked the other way, he said. Let her flatter me, pump up my ego, enjoy the attention. But I know how little security you carry. Watching her orbit me would have chipped away at you. I didn't care about her feelings, only about giving you instant peace. So he had always known exactly where the boundary lay. This time he simply let the new cross it. Chase must have sensed the shift in the air. He pocketed his phone and smiled the old smile that once folded me in sunlight. You promised me a surprise on last night's call, he teased. Ready to show me? Staring at that familiar face, the same angled brows, the same dimple, I started bargaining with myself. Maybe he dotes on her like a kid sister. Maybe I'm the one overthinking. If I proposed right now, he'd say yes without blinking. Our dream house is bought, deed locked in my filing cabinet. The venue for the Riverdale wedding is booked. Even the designer of the wedding gown has the sketches ready. All that's missing is my nod. Yet what slipped out was, I got a promotion and a raise. Chase snorted a laugh, half proud, half resigned. Now that's a surprise. Let's celebrate, my treat. I pushed the food around my plate, the flavors never registered. To this day I can't recall what we ate. Only the constant ding of his WhatsApp. He scowled at every ping but still thumbed replies. Work? I asked. He hesitated. Yeah, work. The glass behind him mirrored his screen, a cartoon mini in a polka dot bow. Snooping isn't my style, but acid crept up my throat, bite by bite. I could feel the mortar crumbling between us. I faked an urgent call and left early. Chase's smile was thin, almost bitter. You don't really need me anymore, do you? Even then, I think he sensed the reverse was also true. The promotion buried me in late nights. Chase FaceTimed sometimes, or swung by with comfort food. Each time his phone erupted mid-sentence. Always, the investors, he claimed. Sterling really did have a lighthouse project going live. Still, we lived in the same zip code and saw each other less than colleagues on different continents. The next time we met was his birthday. I reserved the private room at La Livido and spent an hour choosing his gift. He hurried in 30 minutes late, shrugging off his blazer. Silver Mickey Mouse cufflinks winked against his white shirt. Noticing my stare, he sighed. Kenzie threw a tantrum, said the look completed me. He laid the phone face down, as if that could smother the elephant between us. I skipped the small talk. Did you change the wallpaper? He flickered across his eyes before he glanced down. His brows snapped together, he tossed the phone like it burned him. It's a screen, Serena, pixels. You never praise what I do, but you police my damn wallpaper. I'm tired of being the only one rowing this boat. Watching him bristle, I stopped bargaining. 2 nights earlier Kenzie had texted, "Your pathetic, orphan baggage clinging to a rotting love." Maybe she was right. 13 years dismantled by a 3-month intern. I hid my trembling hands under the table. Let's just eat, Chase. I ordered everything you like. Shame softened his glare. I've been swamped. I'll swap it out tonight. I smiled, served him the last scallop, and remembered the rule I stated the day we became official. I don't believe in love. I believe in you. The day that belief expires, we'll share a final meal and I'll walk away clean. He had forgotten. I refused dessert, refused the ride home. On the sidewalk he hurled the gift box at my feet. Our entire story, I'm the only one fighting for the next chapter, he yelled. Even I get exhausted. Even I want to close the book. His back disappeared around the corner while I swallowed the scream clawing up my throat. He wasn't tired, he was done. He never called. I never texted. Adults don't require a formal exit. 3 months later he rang the bell, civilized, businesslike, to reclaim the riverfront penthouse key and deed. I should have returned these sooner, I apologized, holding the folder between us. You could have mailed them, he answered, voice flat. Silence stretched. I offered water more out of habit than hospitality. He took the hint and stood. The couch behind him, tufted gray velvet, was the first piece of furniture we chose together. On that couch we watched old thrillers, shared takeout, whispered forever. On that couch we once forgot the world existed. Right now we sit at opposite ends of the couch, as stiff and subdued as total strangers. Neither of us is used to this strange, awkward atmosphere. No need. I still have things to do. He stands to leave, hesitates, then stops again. Since I won't be living here for the time being, I'm thinking of renting the place too. Chase pauses, then continues. Kenzie's current apartment isn't in the safest neighborhood. Someone broke in last night. The poor kid was terrified. She's still. I cut him off and give a small nod. Sure, go ahead. After all, it's his house. Even if we were still together, the final say would be his. Besides, I'm no longer his girlfriend, so why should I care who he rents it to? My indifference seems to rile Chase. His brows draw together, his eyes darken as he stares at me. It's this couldn't care less attitude of yours, he says, that keeps pushing me towards someone else. Serena, you need to realize, love can be used up. I suddenly find it hilarious. 12 years ago, standing in the same spot, Chase once told me with complete sincerity that his love was additive, it would only grow with time and never run out. I wonder, if I still loved him, how heart-shattering those words would sound right now. The beep of the electronic lock snaps me back. Bad timing, my place has another water shut-off today. Adrian's voice arrives before he does. Chase and I turn together to see Adrian bare-chested, a towel knotted at his waist, the perfect V of his abs on full display. His wet hair hangs low, half hiding those flirtatious peach blossom eyes. Droplets slide along the sharp line of his jaw and drip onto his chest. If Chase weren't here, this would be textbook wet body seduction. Who is he? Both men speak at once, one drenched in vinegar, the other in volcanic ash. Chase glares at me, accusation thick in his voice. Whoever he is, Serena, don't you owe me an explanation? Why is a half-naked man walking into your apartment? And how does he know your door code? His tone leaves me stunned. When he knocked earlier, coldly asking for the deed, he seemed to have accepted we were over. Now he looks like he's caught me in bed with someone else. I give a cold, lazy laugh. Oh, I'm just more industrious than you. I simply swapped boyfriends. Chase's face drains white, his chest heaving. I know the signs, an eruption is seconds away. I glance at Adrian, one look and he saunters to my side. A slender, defined arm slips naturally around my waist, tucking me against him. Baby, he's scary. And his body's SOSO. You've been dining on junk food, huh? Adrian side-eyes Chase, twirling a strand of my hair around his finger. Men always know which buttons to press. Usually unflappable, Chase now has fury written across his face. He strides forward, fist cocked, then freezes midair. Sweeping his gaze over Adrian, he lowers his hand, snorts. Serena, is this supposed to be fun? If you've got issues with me, spit them out. If Kenzie bothers you, we can sit and talk. But hiring some actor? That's just pathetic. The disappointment, and the disgust, in his eyes is plain. I almost understand him. Adrian's type used to be my no-fly zone, too pretty, too flashy. Ever since school I've distrusted handsome, trendy guys. Blame my messed up childhood. I gravitated toward steady, safe things. After Chase and I split, I finally got it. Nothing in this world stays the same, least of all feelings. We get a handful of decades if we're lucky. The only constant should be doing what makes you happy. I met Adrian in pure sitcom fashion. He'd moved in recently, we'd nod in the elevator. His features were so perfect they jump-started a private fantasy. If I ever became a rich cougar, I'd totally keep him. One night I came home late and spotted a glamorous, fur-draped woman storming out of his unit, hurling a bank card at him. Don't ever contact me again. There won't be a next time. After she left I couldn't help staring. He picked up the card without the slightest awkwardness. Our eyes met, he smiled, those peach blossom eyes curving, sending a ripple through me. The man was a walking masterpiece, dangerously charming, but apparently the sugar mama had tired of him. Too bad I wasn't rich enough to test my own willpower. That same night Adrian knocked on my door. He tilted his chin toward my kitchen. Something smells amazing, mind if I mooch dinner? I nodded before my brain could veto it. Later I wondered if it was post-breakup despair, or just long-repressed instincts finally breaking free. After he'd praised my cooking a couple of times, the words popped out. 3 meals a day, can I keep you? The second I said it, I wanted to evaporate. Adrian didn't look offended in the least. Vegetarian keep or full-on meat keep? I blinked, lost. He leaned in, tilted my chin, and kissed me. A hands-on demonstration of the meat option. From then on, whenever Adrian stayed over, I'd wobble out of bed with jello legs. Fun, yes, but I got scared. Sore muscles were manageable. Yawning through meetings was not. After 2 months I caved and called off our keeper's contract. Morgan, work and money won. I don't plan on marriage or another relationship. I just want to hit my savings target before 40 and vanish to some quiet town. Adrian blew that timetable to bits. He distracted me at work, sure, but longer exposure short-circuited my brain. For whole moments it felt like we were actually dating. Our bodies synced, life synced. He'd grocery shop before I got home, ingredients for whatever I was craving. While I cooked he'd wash and wipe beside me. Movie nights on the couch. He queued up the exact film I'd wanted without asking. Sometimes we'd send each other the same sterling at the same time. These tiny details made me crave married life more and more. I even caught myself thinking that if Adrian and I had a baby, we could love it with everything we had. The instant that thought surfaced, cold sweat broke over me. Have a child with a gorgeous kept man? I sounded insane even to myself. The day I asked for space, Adrian was still the picture of unruffled grace. We've been together a lot lately. It's normal you're getting bored. Let's take a few days off to cool down. True to his word, he vanished for an entire week. When he reappeared, it was under one clumsy pretext after another for letting himself into my condo. He'd left his boxer briefs behind. There'd been a water shutoff and a power outage at his place. Riley, add in that unfairly perfect face, and saying no should have been impossible. Luckily my self-control held. I didn't let him score. Even tonight he resorted to the wet shirt trick. If Chase hadn't shown up, I can't swear I would have kept saying no. Acting? Adrian let out a short, hard laugh. He flicked his gaze between himself and Chase. You think it's impossible Serena could fall for me? Chase yanked Adrian's hand off my waist. Ignoring Adrian, he drilled his glare into me. Serena, I get that you're jealous of Kenzie, but jealousy needs limits. Knock it off, I don't have the bandwidth for tantrums. Before the last word left Chase, his phone rang. The wallpaper was still the selfie together with Mackenzie. A sour wave lurched through my stomach. Bile scalded my throat. I shot into the powder room, hunched over the sink and retched. Adrian followed at once, his broad palm sliding up and down my spine while he passed me tissues and water. Chase finished placating Mackenzie, told her to wait a bit, then stepped in behind us. What's wrong? You sick? Adrian paused, eyes lighting up. Could you be pregnant? Counting back, it'd be that last night. I shook my head. Impossible, we used protection. Adrian grinned, excitement vibrating in his voice. The final round started after midnight, squarely in your safe window, so I didn't wear. While we compared dates as if no one else existed, no one noticed Chase's face strained to chalk. His lips parted, Emery, but no sound escaped. Register, draw blood, tests. At St. Camilla's Hospital I drifted through it all in a fog. Only when the doctor read the lab slip and announced 4 weeks along did reality snap back. This unscheduled child scattered every plan in my head. Keeping it or not? Before I could open my mouth, Adrian was bobbing his head like a dashboard doll. Yes. The doctor flicked him a glance and muttered, wow, Dad's easy on the eyes, but legally the decision isn't his. It's up to your girlfriend. My lips felt forged from lead. I met Adrian's hopeful stare. After an eternity I whispered, I need to think. We exited the elevator straight into Chase. I hadn't even realized he'd trailed us. Mackenzie lounged in his passenger seat. He blocked my car, face flashing livid then ashen when he spotted the positive pregnancy report. Reality finally hit. Adrian and I weren't play acting. Serena, explain this to me. Where in 10 years did I fail you? Even if we're over, couldn't you leave with a scrap of dignity? You couldn't wait to hand me green horns? You're exactly like your tramp of a mother. I froze, staring at the man I'd loved for a decade as he ripped open scars I thought had healed. Pain slowed my breathing to gasps. Cameron stepped forward and decked him without warning. Shut your filthy mouth. Chase staggered, found his footing, then lurched back. The two of them grappled. Desk job Chase was no match for gym rat Adrian, and it showed fast. Mackenzie shrieked, jumping out of the car, flapping her hands. Are you going to stop this? Chase is still someone you loved. I watched coolly until Adrian had him on the asphalt, blood seeping from nose and lip, before I even bothered to feign restraint. I gazed down at the bruised, swollen face that had once meant everything and felt nothing. Chase, you can deny the emotional cheating, fine. You can insist I'm the one who strayed, whatever. From this second you're nobody to me. So don't appear in front of me again, begging for relevance. You disgust me. His eyes widened as the word disgust landed. He hauled himself up, desperate. Serena, we've had 10 years. You know I love you. I screwed up, got momentarily obsessed. I thought, his voice cracked, shame choking him. I thought you had no one, that you loved me so much you'd wait, forgive. Off to the side. Mackenzie's complexion turned sour. Momentary side trip? Chase, what am I, a souvenir? He shot her a cold glance. You wanted something, I delivered. Wanted what, exactly? Your sagging ass and zero stamina? I'd seen enough. I tugged Adrian into the car. Engine on, garage emptying. Chase tried to limp after us, only for Mackenzie to block him, still screaming. In the rear view he shrank, then vanished. Back at the riverfront penthouse, Adrian dropped the playful mask. Tell me straight, what scares you about keeping this baby? I stalled, the reasons tumbled over one another. I haven't banked enough for my own retirement, let alone a child's. Maybe Adrian's just bored of the fast life and I'm this season's distraction. If Chase could tire of me after 12 years together, why should Adrian be different? And if we married, what stability could he offer? Would I watch him go back to escorting to pay daycare? When I finally spoke, my voice was flat. Look, you don't even have a formal job. Raising a kid? I hesitated, unable to say it out loud. Adrian looked a little lost. No job doesn't mean no money. Why can't I raise a kid? I couldn't help asking. The money that rich lady gave you, is it enough to support yourself? Enough to raise a child? Adrian blanked for a second, then nodded. Yeah, the rich lady's money. She can support me and a baby. My worldview cracked a little. I clenched my teeth. My child doesn't need your sugar mama to pay for anything. Sugar mama? Ellis's face twisted with complicated emotions. When it clicked, he shot to his feet. What sugar mama? That's my mother. Adrian exploded, voice shaking. Because he kept refusing to marry and rejected the family-arranged match, he'd been disowned and his cards cut off. He'd secretly gone to his mom for help while still dodging her orders, so she'd flung a bank card at him and cursed him out. Serena, what have you thought I was these past few months? Adrian's brows drew together as if calculating. Suddenly it hit him. No wonder you offered to keep me that day. No, room and board style? 3 meals included? Serena, you're seriously cheap. Adrian couldn't stomach that I'd mistaken him for a gigolo. Even worse, that I'd still slept with him while thinking it. After fierce inner debate he decided to forgive me. He excelled at talking himself into things. If I was willing to be with him while believing he was a gigolo, I must love him a lot. Eventually he convinced me, genuinely convinced, not just bedvinced. I agreed to keep the baby. We went to visit his parents together. I'd expected a manor guarded by iron gates, the usual swallow-a-needle uphill climb. Instead, when the Hawthorns heard I was pregnant, one dashed off to burn incense at the temple and the other crossed herself, muttering, Jesus preserve us. My horizons broadened, different faiths, total harmony. Mrs. Hawthorne grabbed my hands, thanking me nonstop. Child, you're my own daughter from now on. Alex, wouldn't that make family reunions awkward? She shot him a glare. Adrian shut up, sheepish. Mrs. Hawthorne kept talking, earnest. We thought the Hawthorne line would die out. His dad and I were convinced he didn't even like women. At that her eyes narrowed. You're not an actress he paid, right? Adrian rubbed his temples and made to leave. Fine, we'll come back in 10 months. His mother hurried to soothe him. I believe you. I believe, but, why does Ms. Vance look familiar? Now that she mentioned it, both parents did seem kind-eyed and familiar. Even Adrian, smiling at me, felt like someone I'd met before. Only when I stepped into his room and saw the old photo did the memory surface. Freshman year I'd worked part-time at the campus aquatic center. I was only supposed to clean during open hours. Until a connected student showed up. Whenever he came, the pool stayed open, and I stayed late. So I never gave him a kindly glance, wouldn't even look him in the eye. He was polite enough. Each late visit he brought me bubble tea or fruit tarts. But an exhausted workhorse needs sleep, not feed, so I refused every snack and kept rolling my eyes. He never lost his temper, just smiled. Things thawed the night he arrived so late the lifeguard had left. He cramped and started drowning. I jumped in, dragged him out, gave him mouth to mouth. When he came to, his ears scarlet, he stammered that he owed me. I hinted I cared nothing for fame, but I lengthened and stressed the word money. I thought he'd catch on. Instead, he showed up next day with his parents and a commendation banner. After that, he visited even more often. My overtime piled higher. Chase wasn't happy and got me a different job. Soon I never saw the guy on campus. Rumor said he'd gone abroad. Years blurred his face. I only remembered crimson ears and shy words. You took my first kiss. Same here, actually. The blurry face slowly fused with the grin in front of me. I flicked the photo against Adrian's arm. Calling me cheap? You repaid a life-saving favor with a banner? Adrian, the Sting King. He caught my hand, thumb grazing my palm until our fingers laced. Stars danced in his eyes. I'm offering my body for the rescue. Isn't that enough? I hunched my shoulders, goosebumps rising. Somebody haul away this ancient times romantic. Too cheesy. Adrian pulled me into a hug, chin resting on my shoulder. You don't like cheesy lines? I'll keep talking until you build immunity. Serena, I love you. Love at first sight. Why do you think I swam late? To spend extra minutes with you. I've trained since kindergarten, no way I'd nearly drown. Little trick to reel you in. Had my morals been lower back then, could I have stolen you from your boyfriend? You really think me moving next door was fate? Bought that condo at a premium, just as Adrian wished. I grew allergic to romance no more. A year together, I could hear any sappy line without twitching. No awkward fidgeting, no goosebumps. I'd just kiss him in reward. Nice delivery today, here's a kiss. After daughter arrived, we stayed wrapped in love. We outlasted the 7-year itch and every 3-year slump that followed. Sometimes classmates mentioned Chase. In the end, he married Mackenzie, just as everyone predicted. The girl really was high maintenance, meddling at his firm, stirring chaos at home, until even mild-tempered Chase lost control and raised a hand. Word was she was pregnant at the time and landed in the hospital. The two families, distant cousins, tore each other apart. Their divorce dragged for years, exhausting them both. Friends said whenever Chase drank with old pals he'd end up weeping regrets, counting how I'd been gentler, smarter, prettier than Mackenzie. He beat his chest, wailing he'd been bewitched. Classmates asked if I felt any regret. I glanced at the handsome, subtly muscled husband beside me, tapped out 2 words on my phone. Yeah, right. Thanks for listening to our story. Rate it 1 to 10 if you like. Hit like, share with friends, drop your thoughts below, and subscribe for more tales. See you next time.